Hello. Thank you very much for joining our last and third day of the Global Engagement Expo. We have our colleagues here from the Housing and Residential Engagement Office here to present information about on-campus housing and the community there. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Holly Alba and Ricky Gill. So they'll be your presenters for today. If you do have any questions, please do throw them in the chat and we will be sure to get to your questions. Thank you very much.
So thank you for having us today and letting us present on our department, our Housing and Residential Engagement Department. Like Sherry said, my name is Holly Alba, and I am the Senior Coordinator for Administration and Conference Services here at Cal State Fullerton. So I'm one of the full-time admin team who works in the office and helps to oversee the front desk operations and the mailroom here on campus. And I'll let Ricky introduce himself as well.
Yes, so I'm Ricky Gill. I am a office assistant lead. So I was a student, I just graduated, but for the most part, I was a student here working in housing, and I basically oversaw the front desk itself, as well as assisted with any questions or concerns from any residents or parents.
So we wanted to start off today in a typical year when there isn't a global pandemic happening. We offer several tours, typically going through our residence halls and our two styles of apartments, our doubles and singles apartments. Obviously, with this being a virtual format in the first place, that's not an option, but we wanted to share the virtual tour we have on our website. So I'm going to share my screen, and then Ricky's going to talk us through some points about our housing amenities. Let me get that set up. All right. So I'll head over to the singles apartments first, I guess. And if you're interested, I'll show you where it is on the website. This is actually, these virtual tours are just up on the housing website. So you can always navigate to the Cal State Fullerton housing webpage and find this there as well. Yeah. Take it away, Ricky.
Yeah, so usually here in housing, we have about 2,000 students living here. We have a few different options for different residents, first-time freshmen or transfer students, continuing students, international students. But the options that you'll be given will be the single apartments or the double apartments. These are the single apartments. And so as you can see, you'll have your own fridge, your stovetop, your sink, dining room onto the left right here. And in the past, there's 4 people in this apartment with their own rooms, but for right now, there will be 2 people in these apartments. And so you'll be able to have your own bathroom, and which will be shown right here, right now. But yeah, so you have your own room, and this will be a bathroom that you may have. It comes with a shower, obviously the toilet and the sink. There'll be plenty of storage since there's only 2 of you living in it. So you'll have plenty of drawers and closet space. And if you could head into one of the rooms. This is what one of the rooms would look like. It's a twin XL sized bed with a desk, and there's a closet right to the left of that. I don't know if you can see that right now. Yeah, there's a closet right there, some drawers under the bed. Within each of these apartments is going to be free Wi-Fi that we offer here in housing. And as far as laundry goes, we have 2 laundry rooms that you will be able to have access to. They're not free though. They will be. You do have to pay for those, but it's just all via card that you can swipe. There's no, money or change or anything like that. And then let's see. I think that's about it for the singles.
Want to head to the doubles?
Yeah, let's head to the doubles. So usually the difference between the double apartments and the single apartments are the double apartments are a little older, but they are a lot larger. And there's usually 6 residents in these apartments, 2 in a bedroom. But for, given the given these circumstances, there will be, like the singles earlier, how I mentioned, there will be 2 people in this apartment. So you'll have your own bathroom and your own room. And so the rooms are going to be a lot larger when you have your own room. If you could head on over to one of the rooms. So obviously, you know, there's 2 beds here, but you will just be, you know, you can pick whichever bed you would like. And this whole room would be yours. You know, there's plenty of storage space. And then if you want to head over to the bathroom, yeah, the doubles have so much storage. It's, I mean, I always remembered thinking that I didn't have enough stuff to put things in.
Right.
And so this is the bathroom. So you have your own sink still, and own restroom and own shower. They are a little bit older. That's the only, you know, that's the only downside with them, but there is a lot more space.
Yeah, the doubles apartments were the first residential buildings that were put up by Cal State Fullerton. So those are our kind of most historical buildings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the singles are a lot newer, a little nicer, but less space, obviously.
Pros and cons. And obviously the reduced, I think Ricky kind of touched on this, but the reduced rooms and not housing people in doubles is something we're doing right now because of the COVID-19 restrictions, and wanting to make sure that people can be safe and socially distant. If we, you know, in the next year start seeing more movement towards more people having access to vaccines and less restrictions through the county and state guidelines, then we might start moving to multiple people in a room. But at this time, especially coming into fall of 2021, we do anticipate we'll have single rooms only for now. So subject to change, but that's kind of what we're looking at.
Yep. And
go ahead, Ricky.
Yeah, if you're wondering about food options, so we have what is known as the Gastronome. It's basically our cafeteria where you can eat. And so you have a few different options. Right now, we are offering a 5-day and 7-day meal plan. Basically, you get, 5-day, you have Monday through Friday of unlimited swipes. You can come in at any time of the open hours or hours of operation, and you can get an assortment of foods. And you can pick it up. Unfortunately, right now, we are not, allowing dine-in services, but you just pick up your food. You pick what you want, you get it in a box, and then you go on your way. And there's a few different kitchen style areas where you can get different types of food. Let's see, there is a salad bar as well. But there's just a bunch of different types of food, different drink stations that you can get different drinks at, some desserts, some fruits. And so 5-day for 7 days, 7-day, is 7 days of the week. But we do have another option as well. A lot of the upperclassmen do tend to select this option is because it's a 80 block versus 112 block meal plan. And what that basically means is 80 swipes into the cafeteria versus 112 swipes in. So it's not an unlimited amount. Those are cheaper. And I say upperclassmen tend to get this is because they have their own kitchen. And so we, a lot of the time people that live here will cook for themselves. And so they don't want to spend as much money at the cafeteria. But is there anything you'd like to add to that, Holly?
I like to also just point out that for anyone who might have particular dietary restrictions, the chef we have working in the Gastronome is very open and very receptive to individualizing for any type of particular dietary needs. They do typically have a pretty decent rotation with vegetarian and probably a little less so with vegan options, but that's also where if the chef knows that you might be vegan, you can always touch base with the Aramark staff. Aramark is the company that partners with us to run the Gastronome. And we can help get you in contact with them to make sure that all of your meals meet your dietary restrictions. And they're really good about providing a variety of foods to meet dietary needs. And so that's usually something I like to point out as well.
Yes.
I did just want to ask a quick question.
Yes.
Thank you for covering the differences in the meal plan options, by the way, because it's a question we always get from our international students. living in residential housing, you are required to choose at least one of these plans, correct? Okay.
Correct.
I just want to
Yep.
make sure that in case
Correct.
that question comes up.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, that's a question we get pretty often on our side too, is especially given that there's a kitchen in the apartments, do they have to have a meal plan? And so they can't just live on campus and not have a meal plan because of our partnership with Aramark, but that's also why we have a variety of options. So they can reduce their meal plan or have a pretty minimal meal plan, and then supplement their own meals as they want to. So
Yeah. Another thing with the meal plans as well is, so all of the meal plans except the 5-day meal plan come with a $200 basically credit to our market, which is open at various times throughout the week and day. The 5-day comes with a $100 credit per semester. The 7-day, the 112 block, the 80 block all come with $200 per semester. Holly pointed it. It's right there. And so what's in there, it's like a little mini market. It comes with, there's some snacks, drinks, some toiletries, stuff like that you can use your credit at per semester.
yeah. We don't have a good view of the piazza either, but I like to kind of pause right here on the virtual tour because you can see there's this big open kind of walkway space right in front of the gastronome. So just to help, if you haven't been on campus, to kind of orient you to what our housing facilities look like, we've shown you 3 different buildings now, but all of them exist really. There's a walkway that runs up here leading to the building that we're currently standing in. And all of our residential buildings lie right here in this little block. And then the community market's right over here where I've got the cursor. And then the camera right now is currently stationed in the dining hall. So everything we've shown you is actually just within a minute or 2 walk of each other, which is also really nice for the types of facilities we have, that everything is so close. So yeah.
And then with another thing we offer within housing is theme communities. And so what these are each apartment has a floor which several apartments are actually in. And so these theme communities are the whole floor, and it's basically an opportunity to provide you with an additional level of connection to the campus, as well as the community with which you're living in. And so some of these theme communities, could be global engagement. There's different ones like College of Humanities and Social Sciences, College of the Arts. Here we go. We can pull it up here. And so it's basically just to allow students to connect with one another, connect with the school. Usually the RA or the resident advisor on that floor is also within that theme, and they can give a lot of different tools or advice for that specific community. And so, yes, but an RA, a resident advisor that I did not mention earlier, is essentially just another student who is overseeing the floor, making sure that everything's running smoothly. If you have any questions, they're your first person that you can contact. We always have RAs on duty throughout the night. So if you ever have an issue or something is happening, you need to get in contact with someone, you can contact an RA on duty.
Mm-hmm. That's one of our primary safety features too, is utilizing our RA on duty overnight for overnight emergencies or just safety concerns or lockouts. We also do have a satellite office for the University Police Department that's really close to our residential facilities as well, so they can be very quick to respond if there is an emergency in the residence halls or apartments as well. But yeah, I also just wanted to highlight, I had it ready to go because I knew we were talking about theme communities, and I opened up global engagement, especially because that's one that we like to highlight as an option for particularly students that are interested in having cross-cultural communication and living in that kind of cross-cultural environment. But any student who's applying to housing is welcome to preference any of the theme communities that they're interested in living in. So that's one of the options that comes up through the application process. This is just on our Housing and Residential Engagement website. If you want to look at the theme communities, I navigated to the Future tab, and then you'll see theme communities right here. But the Future Residents tab is also really helpful if you're looking for just more information about being a student on campus. So if, following this presentation, you have additional questions, this landing page is also where you can see the rates. Now you'll notice this is for the 2020 to 2021 academic year. We do anticipate when we get closer to March or April, we should be able to have the rates going up soon for the next academic year. They do typically change a little bit year by year, but not drastically. So anyone who's interested can kind of look at this for estimates as well, and for the different installment schedules. So that's just helpful if you need those numbers or need those figures. But you can also look over here for different housing options as well. So if you were interested, say, in the singles apartments, you could click there and it gives you, the dimensions of the beds while you're buying bedding and what exactly comes in each of the rooms that we showed you. And if you do want to navigate back to the tour that I showed you, that's also going to be under future residents and just here under tour information under housing tours. From there, the first thing that pops up, you'll see our notice that because of COVID, we're not offering in-person housing tours at this time, but then you'll see the link right here to the housing virtual tours, which is what I led you through. So if you want to go poke around and explore on your own device, it's right there for you as well. Yeah.
And if you were interested in housing, I believe you would need to go through International Student Services and to apply and get all settled with that. Usually our applications open in around April, so just make sure you're in contact with them so that way you can be on top of that.
Yeah. Any other common questions that you get, Sherry, that we can help answer?
Yes, it's actually what Ricky was just touching on, the housing application process. I can kind of go through it really briefly. So housing opens, the application through your office opens in April. And so we will be in communication with your office leading up to that date. We actually collect an application on our side, and we have our own internal deadline that is before your deadline, so that we can, we usually have more applicants than we do have allocated spaces for the incoming international students, visiting international students, I should say, because degree seeking students actually apply directly with you as any other CSUF student would. But our visiting exchange and visiting USA students will go through our process first. And then we have a kind of random draw selection process to kind of keep it fair, because some students are nominated later than others to the university and would be at a disadvantage if they were nominated later and submit their application for housing later. So we try to even things out, the chance to get into a housing placement. Once we know who those people are, we then work with your office to have the students complete your application, which still does need to be on file, but and that's usually the process and how it goes. So for any students who would be inquiring about housing, we would be in contact with them through our office and share that application link. So yeah, that's our process there. We do, for students who make any inquiries about off-campus housing, we also refer them to that new resource that you have available, which is so useful, that students can search the local area, put in a few filters, and be able to find several options all at once. Oh, thank you for bringing up that website about what are some off-campus housing options within very convenient distance to the campus. So yeah, you do a lot for our students. The global connections theme community, I just wanted to touch back to let visiting international students know, this is typically, you are placed in housing that you're going to be on one of those floors that is in that theme community, whereas our domestic students would apply to become part of that community. And we think it might be of particular interest to students who are interested in a study away or a study abroad, or just having those, as Holly had mentioned, that sort of cultural exchange opportunity even on campus. And it has been really interesting, bringing students together. We have several ways students can come together on campus between our international students and our domestic students. We have a Global Titans Buddies program. This theme community within housing is a little bit more of a longer, more of a commitment, obviously, but we do think it's on both sides. It's really helpful for the international students, helping them acclimate to their new environment, but also enriching, I think, our domestic students' lives as well, and maybe even propelling them towards making a decision about study abroad. So for returnees as well who are coming back from participating in a study abroad program, it could be a really nice option for re-entry, supporting your re-entry so that you're not just, coming back cold turkey back to the United States and feeling like, what happened? I was just in another country and I'm here and I'm feeling very out of place. And I think this could help some people with having a little bit of a softer re-entry and feeling like they're staying connected with their international global experiences. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was just gonna end by making sure like our contact information was up on the screen. Just in case people want to call our office. Where is it? I've been so good about like navigating. Oh, it's contact us right here. I've been so fluid about navigating and then I forgot there was a contact. So yeah, if folks do have particular questions, our front office is open Monday through Friday at this point during kind of almost typical business hours, 9 to 4, and then limited on Saturday. But folks can contact us. We're also very receptive to email as well. There's 3 of us full-time staff that monitor the email. So if folks do have questions specifically for us, they can feel free to reach out as well. But yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has been really helpful for me. But I'm excited to share this with our students through, once we have this recording up on our website and available, I'll be sure to share the link with you also.
Cool.
Yeah, but thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Stop recording.
Right.
There we go.